All right, buckle up, everyone, because today we are launching ourselves into a deep dive prepped just for you.
Oh, this is exciting.
Yeah, we're tackling how to absolutely nail that cosmologist interview,
A cosmologist interview. Wow.
using all the amazing insights we've got from RoleCatcher's career guides.
Yeah.
So we're talking about, the universe, its origins,
The big questions.
the evolution, like the whole shebang,
Yeah.
and how to make sure you listening stand out as the absolute perfect candidate. The one they have ready to have to explore all these cosmic mysteries.
It really is a fascinating field. I mean, it blends, really cutting-edge science with some of humanity's oldest questions.
Mm-hmm.
And these interview questions, they're not just about like reciting facts and figures and things.
Right.
They really want to see how you think, how you approach those really complex problems that are out there, and how your passion
Yeah.
for cosmology shines through.
Exactly. So let's start with RoleCatcher itself.
Wow.
So it uses AI, which is pretty cool, to analyze job descriptions and tailor your resume to that. But for me, the real gem is its massive database of interview questions and answers,
Oh, wow.
including specific ones for cosmologists. So you actually get to see what those interviewers are really looking for, which is such a huge advantage.
It's like having a sneak peek behind the curtain.
Yeah.
So, for example, one very common question is, what inspired you to pursue a career in cosmology? Now it seems simple, but
It does.
they're not just looking for your resume highlights. They want more.
So it's more about the why behind the science.
The why, exactly. They want to hear your story. They want to know what those aha moments were. Those moments that ignited your passion for the cosmos. It could be a childhood memory, some stargazing, a book that blew your mind.
Yeah.
Or even a mentor, someone who inspired you, who sparked your curiosity.
And that's actually where RoleCatcher's AI comes in handy.
Yes.
Right. It helps you refine your answers to really showcase those personal connections and make your story stand out from all the other applicants.
Precisely. It can even analyze your tone of voice.
Wow.
And suggest ways to make your delivery, more engaging and more authentic because, passion, it's contagious.
Yeah.
Now, another common question focuses on your technical skills, something like, what is your experience working with large data sets?
Because cosmology is data-driven, right?
It is.
You're dealing with galaxies and black holes and all this
A lot of information.
cosmic information.
Exactly. And interviewers want to know you can handle it. So this is where being specific is key.
Yeah.
Don't just say, oh, I'm good with data.
Yeah.
You want to mention the actual software you've used, like Python.
Mm-hmm.
Highlight any relevant projects.
So, for example, if you used a tool like Astropy to analyze, let's say, galaxy redshift data,
Perfect.
that's a very concrete example showing you can actually tackle the kind of data that cosmologists work with.
Absolutely. Now let's switch gears a bit
Okay.
to a question that really gauges your awareness of the field. Something like, what is your understanding of the current state of cosmology research?
Oh, that's a good one. That feels like a balancing act, though,
Yeah.
because you don't want to give a whole history lesson,
You don't.
but you have to show you're up to date, right?
Yes. They want to see that you're engaged with the latest developments, the latest debates. So
Mhm.
focus on things like dark matter, dark energy,
Yeah.
the search for gravitational waves, maybe even mention a recent paper that you read
Oh, that's good.
that caught your eye.
That's good. Speaking of staying current, there's usually a question about how you do just that.
Mm-hmm.
I bet interviewers are looking for more than just, I read journals.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Mention specific journals, conferences, or even some of those online communities you follow. It shows you're actively learning and connected to the field. And RoleCatcher's career guides, they often highlight resources just like these, which can be super helpful
Yeah.
for interview prep, but also for your career overall.
That's a great point. It's not just about passing the interview.
Yeah.
It's about your ongoing development as a cosmologist, which is important.
Very important.
Okay, let's get into a question that tests your problem-solving skills. Something like, describe a time you encountered a difficult problem in your work and how you overcame it.
Ah, yes. This is a classic interview question, and it is crucial that you choose an example that is relevant to cosmology.
Okay.
It could be, a technical challenge you had during a research project, or even a time when you had to rethink your whole approach to analyzing some data.
And it's not just about the problem itself, though, right?
It's not. No.
It's about how you approached it. Did you break it down? collaborate with others,
Exactly.
use creative problem-solving techniques.
They want to see your thought process, your resilience, and your ability to learn from those experiences. And RoleCatcher's AI can be a huge help with this too, you know? It analyzes your answer and suggests ways to highlight the skills and qualities that are most relevant to that job description.
So it's not just about having a good story.
Right.
It's about framing it in a way that resonates with that specific role and the interviewer's expectations, which is interesting.
Yes. Now, here's a question that might seem a little unexpected.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on the role of cosmology in addressing global challenges, like climate change or sustainability?
That's a good question. That feels like it's pushing you to think beyond pure science.
Yeah.
And connect cosmology to real-world issues.
Exactly. It's about critical thinking,
Right.
seeing the bigger picture. So think about the technology that has come from cosmological research. Things like advanced detectors,
Right.
data processing methods that actually have applications in other fields.
For example, I know that the development of highly sensitive detectors for astronomical observations has led to improvements in medical imaging
Yes.
and environmental monitoring, which is interesting.
That's a great point. So when you answer this question, show them you understand those connections and that you're interested in how cosmology can contribute to solving those broader challenges.
Yeah.
Because it demonstrates a much deeper level of engagement with the field.
That is fantastic insight. Okay, let's talk about a question that's more directly related to your hands-on experience. Something like, what is your experience working with telescopes or other observational instruments?
So this is your chance to highlight those practical skills.
Okay.
So don't just list the instruments you've used. You want to describe specific tasks you performed and the impact your work had. So did you calibrate a telescope's optics, analyze data from a radio interferometer?
Right.
Those details really bring your experience to life.
And again, this is where RoleCatcher's AI can really shine, right? Because by analyzing the job description, it can point out which specific skills or instruments to emphasize in your answer.
Absolutely. It can even suggest ways to quantify your achievements. So, for example, instead of just saying you analyze data, you could say, I analyze data from specific instrument to measure specific phenomenon leading to specific outcome.
That adds so much more impact to your answer. Okay, let's tackle one last question before we move on.
Okay.
How do you prioritize tasks and manage your time in a fast-paced research environment?
Oh, this question is all about organization and efficiency,
Yeah.
which are absolutely essential in any research field, especially one as demanding as cosmology. So don't just say, oh, I'm good at time management. You want to describe your actual strategies and tools.
Oh, right.
Whether that's a to-do list, a project management app, a specific method that you use.
And it's always helpful to back up your claims with a real example.
Oh, definitely.
Right. So share a time when you successfully managed a complex project with, multiple deadlines.
Absolutely.
That really demonstrates you can handle the pressures of a research environment and deliver results.
Exactly.
So it's all about showing them you're not just this brilliant mind, but you're also a strategic planner who can navigate all the demands of a cosmology career, which is
very important.
Very important. Now, we've covered a lot of ground here, and I'm sure you're starting to feel more confident about tackling those interview questions.
Yeah.
But we're just getting started.
All right, so in this next phase of our deep dive,
Okay.
let's explore how to kind of weave in those career insights from RoleCatcher's guides.
Okay.
While you're prepping for all those interview questions,
Right.
it's not just about, answering what they ask.
Right.
It's about showing you understand that bigger picture of a cosmology career.
You're not just looking for a job. You're launching yourself into a whole scientific field.
Exactly.
So how do we bring in those career insights without, sounding like we're reciting a textbook?
Well, think back to that question about staying current with research.
Okay.
Instead of just, listing journals.
Right.
You can mention the importance of pursuing a PhD or attending conferences.
Yeah.
As highlighted in the career guide.
Okay.
It shows you're thinking long term.
That's smart. It's like you're subtly saying, hey, I'm not just reading about this stuff.
Yes.
I'm actively planning to be a part of it.
Exactly. And remember that question about global challenges?
Yeah.
That's a perfect opportunity to touch upon those career paths outlined in the guide. You can mention your interest in, science policy or communication, showing you're aware of the wider impact cosmology can have.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
It's not just about the research itself.
No.
It's about how your work connects to the world.
Exactly.
It paints a picture of a well-rounded scientist.
Precisely. Now, let's not shy away from the realities of the field.
Okay.
The career guide also addresses challenges like limited job opportunities
Right.
and the competitive nature of research.
So how do we address that without sounding, discouraged or naive?
Well, when you're answering that question about time management and prioritizing tasks,
Mm-hmm.
you can acknowledge the demanding nature of cosmology.
Okay.
It shows you're realistic, but not deterred,
Yeah.
that you're prepared to put in the work.
It's like saying, I know this is a tough field, but I'm passionate enough to rise to the challenge.
Exactly. And remember, RoleCatcher's AI can help you tailor those responses to specific job roles.
Okay.
It analyzes the job description, identifies those key skills, and suggests ways to kind of weave them into your answers.
So if a job posting emphasizes experience with a specific type of telescope,
Yes.
RoleCatcher can nudge you to mention your work with that instrument, even if the question isn't directly about it.
That's the power of personalization.
That is cool.
Now let's delve into some more complex questions that interviewers might throw your way.
All right, hit me.
Okay, for example, what are your long-term career goals in cosmology?
Ooh, that one always feels like a tightrope walk.
It does.
You want to be ambitious, but also realistic.
It's about showing you've thought beyond just getting the job.
Mm,
So instead of, a generic answer,
Right.
focus on specific areas you're passionate about.
okay.
Do you dream of, leading a research team,
Yeah.
becoming an expert in a particular subfield?
And don't forget to connect those goals to the specific institution you're interviewing with.
Oh, absolutely. Research their current projects and tailor your answer to show how your goals align with their work.
Yeah.
It demonstrates you're not just looking for any cosmology job,
Yeah.
but you're specifically interested in what they're doing.
I like it.
Speaking of teamwork, another common question is, describe a time you worked effectively as part of a team to achieve a common goal.
Teamwork makes the dream work, right?
Collaboration is key in cosmology, so choose an example that highlights your ability to work with others in a research setting.
Okay.
Did you contribute to analyzing data from a space telescope?
Yeah.
Develop a theoretical model with a team?
Right.
Don't just say you were part of a team.
Oh,
It's about showcasing those specific contributions.
right. What did you do?
Exactly. And how you helped achieve a shared objective.
I like it.
Now, let's tackle a question that invites a bit more self-reflection.
Okay.
What do you consider to be your greatest strengths as a cosmologist? And how would these strengths benefit our research team?
Ooh, this one can feel like bragging a little bit,
It can.
but it's also a chance to highlight what makes you unique.
Exactly. So be strategic and choose strengths that are relevant to the role
Okay.
and the institution's research priorities.
Mhm.
Are you, a gifted data analyst,
Yeah.
a creative thinker,
Mhm.
a skilled communicator?
Right.
Then connect those strengths to the team's needs,
Yeah.
showing how you can contribute to their success.
It's like a puzzle piece fitting perfectly into place.
Exactly. To wrap up this section,
Okay.
let's address a question that probes your understanding of the field's challenges.
Okay.
Something like, what do you see as the biggest challenges facing cosmology today, and how do you think we can overcome them?
That's a heavy one.
It is. It's about demonstrating those critical thinking skills
Right.
and your vision for the future of cosmology. So it's not about complaining or whining.
Right.
It's about showing you're aware of those limitations and actively thinking about solutions.
So, for example, we could talk about the need for new technologies.
Yes.
The gaps in our understanding of those fundamental principles.
Exactly.
Or even the challenges of securing funding for ambitious research projects.
Absolutely. And don't just point out the problems.
Right.
Offer potential solutions.
Okay.
Are there emerging technologies that could revolutionize our observations? Innovative research approaches,
Yeah.
ways to foster greater collaboration within the field.
Right. It's about showing them that you're not just inheriting the field's challenges,
Right.
but actively thinking about how to overcome them
Yes.
and shape the future of cosmology.
Precisely. And remember, RoleCatcher's AI can be your secret weapon throughout this whole process.
Right.
By analyzing your answers, providing personalized feedback.
Yeah.
It helps you refine those responses and present yourself as the ideal candidate
Right.
for each specific job role.
So it's like having a customized coaching session
Yes.
for every interview you tackle.
Exactly.
That's amazing. Now, we've covered a lot of ground on content and strategy,
Yes.
but there's one more crucial aspect to nail, and that's presentation
Mm-hmm.
and that all-important first impression. Welcome back for the final stage of our Cosmologist interview prep. We've tackled tough questions, woven in career insights, and even tapped into the power of AI.
It's true. It's amazing what we've covered.
But before you actually step into that interview room, let's talk about making that stellar first impression.
Yeah, your preparation really shines through in how you present yourself, both, in your appearance and how you're engaging in that conversation.
So we're not talking spacesuits or anything, but
Yeah.
definitely a step up from your everyday attire, I imagine.
Exactly, yeah. Aim for that professional look. Think a well-fitting suit or a sharp dress.
Okay.
And remember, good posture, a genuine smile,
Hmm.
those can really convey confidence and enthusiasm even before you start speaking.
It's like saying, I'm taking this seriously,
Yeah.
and I'm excited to be here.
Exactly.
Now, I know interviews can be nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice for staying calm and collected under pressure?
Well, practice is key.
Okay.
The more you rehearse your answers, the more confident you'll feel.
Yeah.
And don't underestimate the power of RoleCatcher's video practice feature.
Oh, right.
It lets you simulate that interview experience and get feedback on your delivery,
That's really useful.
which can be incredibly helpful for calming those pre-interview jitters.
Yeah, it's like having a personal coach helping you refine your performance.
Exactly.
But what if you get hit with a question that just completely throws you off guard?
Don't panic. It happens.
Okay. Take a deep breath.
Right.
Ask for clarification if needed.
Okay.
And try to reframe the question in a way that lets you highlight your strengths.
Okay.
Remember, interviewers understand you might not have an answer for everything.
Right.
What matters is how you handle those unexpected moments.
So it's about showing them you can think on your feet and adapt to new challenges, which are very valuable skills,
They are.
especially in a field like cosmology.
Especially in cosmology, yeah.
Now, let's talk about a step that I think a lot of people overlook, the follow-up.
Ah, yes. Very important.
The interview.
Sending a thank you note,
Yeah.
within 24 hours
Right.
is not only professional courtesy,
Yeah.
but it's a great way to reiterate your interest in the position. And it gives you a chance to briefly address any points you might have, wanted to emphasize during the interview.
Okay.
Or
Yeah.
maybe ask any additional questions that came up.
Right. So it's not just a formality.
Right.
It's an opportunity to, continue the conversation.
Exactly. And leave a really lasting positive impression.
And if you haven't heard back, in a reasonable time frame,
Yeah.
it's perfectly acceptable to follow up politely and inquire about the status of your application.
Okay.
Demonstrating that continued interest shows your commitment and your enthusiasm.
It does.
Now, before we wrap up, I
Right.
really want to emphasize this one final point. Believe in yourself
Yes.
and your passion for cosmology.
That is so important.
It is.
It's easy to get caught up in, the logistics of interview prep.
It is.
But at the end of the day, it's your passion that will truly shine through.
Exactly. Your enthusiasm for exploring the universe's mysteries.
Mm,
That's your greatest asset.
yeah.
Let that passion shine through in your answers,
Yeah.
in your questions, and in your overall demeanor.
Right.
Remember, you're not just applying for a job, you're embarking on this incredible journey of discovery
Oh, wow.
that could lead to groundbreaking insights and a deeper understanding of our place in the cosmos.
So to all you aspiring cosmologists out there, go out there and show them what you're made of.
Yes.
The universe is waiting to be explored.
Good luck. And remember, RoleCatcher is here to support you every step of the way.
And that brings us to the end of our cosmic deep dive on prepping for that cosmologist interview.
Wow, it was a journey.
We've uncovered so many valuable insights from those RoleCatcher guys.
Absolutely. And remember, folks, those AI tools can really give you an edge.
They really can. So keep those resources in mind as you prep, and most importantly, bring that passion for the cosmos. You got this.